Professor, the Honorable Gordon Shirley joined the Port Authority of Jamaica on September 1st, 2013, on secondment from the University of the West Indies, and was appointed President and Chief Executive Officer on November 1st, 2013. He was Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of the West Indies, UWI Mona campus, from August 1st, 2007 to August 31st, 2013. He is a graduate of the UWI St. Augustine campus with a BSc in Engineering, Harvard University with an MBA in Operations and Finance, and a doctorate in Business Administration in Operations Management. Professor Shirley started his professional career with Alcan Jamaica Company Limited as a mechanical engineer in the late 70s and 1980s. And I remember very well his red MGB GT with the top down. He then served as an assistant professor of operations management at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, until 1991. In 1991, Professor Shirley joined the staff of the UWI Mona campus, first as the Carlton Alexander Professor of Management and head of the Department of Management Studies, then as Executive Director, Mona School of Business. He also served concurrently as Executive Chairman of the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited. In 2004, he was seconded to the government of Jamaica as Jamaica's ambassador to the USA and permanent representative to the OAS. He has served on several public sector and private sector boards and committees in Jamaica, USA, and Canada. He currently serves as the chairman of Grace Kennedy and Company Limited, Clarendon and Alumina Production Limited, and the Public and the Police Services Commission. The honor of the Order of Jamaica was conferred on him on August 6, 2009. Fellow Hermits, I present to you one of my, I would say, mentors, in a sense, Professor Gordon Shirley, OJ. Professor Shirley, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for that introduction. I guess it is really true that sometimes you hear those introductions and you wonder who they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it certainly is true of Hermits because, you know, when Ian asked me to speak at this engagement, I had to think back at the time and I think we all went through roughly the same thing. I don't know what your experiences were, but I must say it was with a great degree of anticipation that I bid my family goodbye and jumped on the BWI and got down to St. Augustine. Felt good going into the bus going over to Sea Hall. But nothing that I could have thought of prior to that moment when we hit Sea Hall could compare. When we got stripped of all dignity that we had at customs, your mother helped you pack your grip because the last time she seen her son like this and put a whole heap of niceties, things that you know that you love. She said, don't eat them all off at one time. And the man them take out everything and eat it in front of you, and not even the crumbs you get. And that was just the beginning. We all went through Grub Week. And the bitterness grew from day one to the end. But then the end came, and we were welcomed into the brotherhood. And the same people who grubbed you became friends, lifelong friends. And so for all of us, aside from the fact that we have done well in many ways in life, that humbling beginning is something that is important to us. It made us all equals. The time we spent climbing under the clock, climbing over dinner at Minus, the hall football, the Hermit football, all the things that we used to do together have made us into who we are. Chairman, somebody said earlier in the program, I forget who it was, about leaving St. Augustine. I don't remember how many of you recall when we left St. Augustine. I left St. Augustine feeling that I knew a lot, but I didn't know a whole lot. We had learned a lot of theory. I had the opportunity of doing the best branch of engineering mechanical. I was very aware that there were many things that I did that I just knew the theory about them. And so I was happy to be at Alcan and met a number of other people, some of whom are on the forum as well, who were working there. And it was a great experience. But over time, as hermits, we grew apart. That, life intervened. We all got married. Many of us got married, had families. Some of us went on to graduate work. And the reality, Chairman, is that I think it is fair to say that for many of us as hermits, we grew apart. Many of the hermits who went to school with me in St. Augustine migrated. You lost contact with them. I must tell you, I'd grown to accept the fact that that distance would probably remain for the rest of our lives. I didn't anticipate receiving a call, but I do have a very special word of thanks to Burmy, who I think is on the call, and Nal, I don't know that Donald Daly is on the call, Ian, who put together this chat group called that we call the Virtual Hermitage. And it was something special, because all the friends that you remember, there are many of them from the time you were on campus, came back together. And it was as if the 40 intervening years sort of melted away. And we have had, I think, an outstanding time on that virtual hermitage. We communicate as a group, and we discuss current affairs. We also discuss the finer points of quantum theory and even the evolution of man. We watch World Cup, we watch Olympics, World Championships and champs. And even though we do it from the comfort of our own homes, I would say that I look forward to doing it, knowing that at the other end of the cell phone are the experts in the area, like Lyndon Nugent, who sometimes graces us with his presence on the VH, and many others who are experts in the fields. And it's wonderful to hear them share their opinions and quarrel among themselves sometimes. We have done a lot of things on that virtual hermitage. And then Ian, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, Ian introduced this idea that something big was going to happen, the formation of the Hermits Foundation. And he was persistent in his reminders to us, kept us updated on what was happening. And eventually we got the websites. So let me tell you what I understand the virtual the Hermitage Foundation is about, Chairman. From what it says, it is a forum to keep all the hermits, all the alumni from 1963 to present, engaged and connected. Says you're going to host events and reunions. You're going to conduct surveys and research on the demographics of the Hermit body and to understand the preferences with a view to developing more effective and engaging strategies to foster lifelong learning. We also learned that the community, that once the community of hermits have been properly assembled on the foundation, the chairman mentioned it a couple of times, the intention is to leverage the considerable intellectual capacity and experience, the international exposure of the hermits for national development initiatives and to assist with impactful community-based projects. The one being done by Curly Green has been mentioned. To mentor students, current students, and recently graduated C Hall alumni. To support innovative initiatives and to assist the university in ways that would be helpful to the institution. My understanding, Chair, is that to finance the work, the foundation has declared its intention to raise funds by way of membership fees, annual giving, and to leverage crowdfunding for projects and community initiatives. These are eminently worthy goals to embrace by the collective body of Hermits, Chairman, and I believe it enjoys strong support from members of the virtual Hermitage. So today, the remainder of what I want to say is really to share a couple observations about what I've just said about the foundation and its goals. Having participated in the start of this meeting and receiving the reports about the event that took place, the golf event and the launch, it has taken quite a bit of work to get to this stage. And as Prof. Shaw says, there have been a number of other attempts at this. I wasn't aware of them, but there apparently were a number of other attempts. So we know that getting to this point requires great effort and perseverance. Question is, how do we get to the next stages of the mission? My first observation would be, Chair, that we should be careful, or not careful, but cautious about how we interweave the work of the foundation and the functioning of these other chat groups. As I said, the one that I belong to is called the Virtual Hermitage. I'm very, very strong on the idea of leveraging the talents of the hermits to act as has been outlined, to enter into nationally important projects and so on. However, I've come to realize, being on the Virtual Hermitage, that keeping the hermits engaged, networked, and connected is an end in of itself, not the means to a greater end. Lessons from our Virtual Hermitage Chairman suggest that facilitating of an environment where colleagues can communicate and network is important, particularly for more senior hermits. Hermits are multi-talented with varied interests. While the discourse on our Virtual Hermitage can appear busy at times with multiple threads, it nevertheless provides great value to our members. And therefore, understanding how we layer the communication systems of the foundation onto these existing fora in a seamless way should be done thoughtfully as we proceed. If successful, I believe the foundation will be widely and warmly welcomed by all the Hermits. A simple point, Chairman, don't try to destroy what is working, even as we put something with a higher objective on it. Let me just also add, Chair, that in terms of the interests and experiences, the experience on the virtual Hermitage suggests that as Hermits age, their needs and interests evolve. I'm surprised at how much time is spent on health and medical well-being, spiritual and religious discourse. These are of growing importance to a large segment of the community. Ways to support these needs and the interests should be given consideration, Chair. And you, Chair, in your remarks, noted that it is of great importance to us as a community, the brotherhood that was formed, as I described earlier. In the case of the virtual Hermitage, the goal of helping members who are going through difficult times is an honorable and vital component of what we do. And we need to handle this with sensitivity and care for those who are receiving as well as those offering assistance. And I would suggest, Chairman, that data privacy is an important consideration. The second observation I would make, Chairman, is that it relates really to the efficiency. As engineers, we know it's very important. And we have many business people on there, they understand how important it is to manage your costs and utilize your limited resources effectively. When you look at the ambitious set of objectives that have been established for the foundation, Chair, it is evident that the administrative costs, if we are to achieve all of these, must be carefully managed. And leveraging technology, as we understood from the time we were there 40 odd years ago, leveraging technology can be critical to achieving this objective. And I think Maurice McNaughton is on the call, so I'm trampling in his area of expertise. But as I thought about how we were going to manage this, and I did a little bit of reading around it, Chair, it's obvious that one technology that appears to be increasingly relevant in streamlining the processes of alumni organizations is artificial intelligence, or AI. There are AI network platforms which connect alumni of the various foundations based on shared interests, geographic location, or industrial backgrounds. There are AI-enabled virtual events and webinars that offer engaging networking opportunities. There are AI chatbots that serve as virtual assistants for alumni working networks, providing real-time support and guidance. And various universities and their associated alumni foundations have begun to leverage these technologies to their advantage. Harvard University, for example, has implemented an AI-powered networking platform that has revolutionized their networking experiences. The platform utilizes algorithms to match alumni based on shared interest, professional goals, and industry affiliations. The platform also offers personalized event recommendations and facilitates networking opportunities. By leveraging AI, Harvard's alumni network has experienced, they claim, increased engagement, collaboration, and career support. And Stanford has developed an AI chatbot to enhance alumni support and engagement, and MIT has leveraged predictive analytics to enhance alumni engagement and has witnessed significant increase in alumni participation. And the list goes on, Chair. I thought of these when I looked at our objectives of collecting data on our alumni and doing some of the same things, enhancing our capacity for network, identifying hermits who are at risk of falling off the system and so on. And I think that these case studies that I've described serve as an inspiration, Chairman, for you and the executive and for others to, and I would imagine also to the larger UWI alumni to leverage AI for their own networking initiatives. Finally, Chairman, since I mentioned the university, I would want to say a word on the Hermit Foundation and its impact on the university. I didn't have to scan the group, the 50-odd people who are on the call, an impressive group just by itself. And this is a small component of the overall community that we belong to. The Hermit Foundation has the capacity now and the opportunity, I think, to play a pivotal role in transforming the UWI's alumni outreach efforts, which I think can use the support that you can provide and the guidance in how to better manage the relationships among the wider alumni community. By way of example, Mr. Chairman, it is probably easier for our Hermits Foundation to leverage technology to assist, for example, the faculties of engineering and agriculture by facilitating webinars, virtual lectures, and even virtual mentoring of students. Some persons on the call today, I think, would do wonders if they were to be able to interface with some of those young students and to give them the benefit of your experience and your guidance. As noted earlier, Chair, AI can facilitate more effective matching of the industry experience of alumni with the needs of the academic programs to enhance relevance. We know from our own experiences in our case 40 years ago, Chair, that the lecturers are very bright people, but sometimes they lack the practical exposure, and the partnership of our alumni with them would help to strengthen our programs. I encourage the Hermits Foundation Chair to lead by example and from in front in transforming the greater UWI alumni relations. Chair, I promised Ian that I would be respectful of time, and so I conclude. Today I've tried to highlight the special nature of the experience of the Hermits, which make this fraternity a uniquely important one for our university and the region. Technologies now allow us to develop enhanced networks among our members, leveraging the capacities of this very unique group to support community projects and national development efforts. With the facilitation of the foundation, these objectives are now more possible than they have ever been. The time for the foundation, I believe, Chairman, is now. I'm grateful that you gave me an opportunity to share a few thoughts and observations at this very important and first annual general meeting of the foundation. I certainly look forward to following and participating in the work of the foundation in the period ahead. And I use this opportunity, Chairman, to pledge my support for the Hermitage Foundation and to encourage all Hermits to come aboard. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, colleagues.